What's going on, Paisanos? V here. Coming at you guys, well, with another market watch today. I just haven't had time the past week to do enough videos. I've been running around constantly, but now everything's kind of calmed down for me a lot, so I can be able to sit here and record a video for you guys. Now, we just finished up with the YCS Utrecht. We just finished up with the YCS 3 in Las Vegas, and we're in a weird spot with the meta. I mean, looking at decks like Spirals, it's like the best deck in the meta, and then we see Heroes, and then Spirals takes it back again. And then looking at the UDS, we see Rockets and Shadow Invoked. And then going over to the YCS in Utrecht, we see Salamangreats. Looking at the YCS 3v3, we see, well, Dinosaurs and Shadow Invoked again. Mostly Dinosaurs though. And I think the meta is very diverse, but nothing's too powerful than other things. I think Spirals do maintain a pretty crazy advantage, but it could also be checked. And looking at the matches in the YCS and all the events, we can see that actually happening, which is really cool to see. A really phenomenal deck, but still have a good checks and balances system. So literally any deck can still be a good deck in this meta right now. Now looking at Duel Overload, I think it's really interesting to note that I think it's fairly safe to assume that this is going to be a really fast selling set. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are really excited about it. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players already are buying a ton of this product up already. If you guys are not part of the Yu-Gi-Oh Mark Watch Facebook group, please go ahead and join that. I asked a question today about how much you guys bought, and some people said they bought a couple of boxes, some people bought a couple of cases, and then some people are like, you know what, V, I'm just gonna wait and I'm just gonna buy the singles. And either one, I don't think there's any wrong answer with Duel Overload, other than the fact that you better get the set in early, you better flip it early. I think what a hype set is, we get a lot of value, a lot of hype prices, and whoever gets the set early can list the set cards for early and make those fast money. Anyone who lists the set on the day of release, well, the values will be taking as Yu-Gi-Oh players go in, crack open these packs, get the cards they want and sell the cards they don't want. So we're gonna see a lot of value decline. Now, I just want to say before I begin with the rest of the video, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below, Paisanos. Comment question of the day. What card do you want from what has already been known in Duel Overload? Now, for me, that's a hard question because I want a card that might be in this set. I mean, right off the gate, I think Sign Up Mine is a phenomenal card, and we already see the value starting to go down in value. And with Salamangreats still being a top-tier contending deck, despite getting hit again on the ban list, this card's definitely going to be a 3-up in that deck. And with Duel Overload, we're going to see a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players go ahead and play 3 of these. Looking at the current value, the market price of Sign Up Mining from Dark Neostorm is about $27. And then you got Light Play Unlimited about $26. And for a near mint first edition, you're looking roughly around $26, $27. The value's gonna keep going lower, and I think it's gonna hit the point where it's gonna bottleneck, where it's gonna be like, okay, this is the lowest it will go for now. The card will come out as a reprint, ultra rare in Duel Overload. It might go down a little bit more. And then we'll see the secret rare start rising a bit, just as long as Salamangreat can continue maintaining being, at the very least, a tier 1.5 deck. By the way, I haven't forgotten about you Burning Abyss plays out there. You guys have definitely shown that your deck's still good. Not only is your deck still good, but the Earth version of BAs can do some crazy things. There's also a 60 card Cherry B that came in second place. There's all things happening with Burning Abyss. But go back to Duel Overload, guys. I think this, once again, this is going to be a great set. It was confirmed 100% now that Fantastical Dragon Phantasma is going to be in this set. So look at the current value of the card from Savage Strike. It's roughly around $50. Neiman Unlimited is roughly around $40. If you want a first edition, it's going to run you roughly around $48. This value, I think, will once again go down a bit and then go right back up. And especially after Master of 5, I think links are still going to be relevant. And if they are, and if we, let's say we used to get like one Maxi or one Harvey Featherster or something like that, this is probably going to be the best cycle card moving forward at all. So if you think this card's gonna be terrible, I think you're wrong. I think if you do get Duel Overload, you grab these cards, you're gonna want to really hold them because I think they're still gonna have play in the future of this game. Look at Konami, seeing the fact that they are printing cards from Savage Strike in Duel Overload with Phantasma being confirmed. I don't think it's that big stretch of imagination to see a card like Pot of Extravagance get confirmed in Duel Overload. Now, I personally like the secret rares, so the minute these come out ultra rares, the value's gonna tank on these. And I'm probably gonna go in and grab the secret rares, 100% honest with you guys. But for those who want to get the card at a cheaper price point, well, the ultra rares is like the perfect price point. I mean, look at Pot of Extravagance, holding a $102 market price. Neiman First Edition is roughly around $93, and Unlimited around $94. We didn't see any control decks really dominate the meta. We did see some getting top cut, but no control decks have taken any of these events. So I think those out there who are playing like Alta Guys or Guru Control or any realistic deck that uses Pot of Extravagance, they're just looking at this card and going, it's not doing what I want to do. We're looking at other decks like Shadow Invoked, Salamarian Great, Burning Abyss, Dinosaurs. They're doing it, but with Control as it has not done it yet. I do think they can do it though. But looking at once again Pot of Extravagance, I do think this card is a great reprint target. I think it's an insanely good reprint target, especially since Phantasme was a good reprint target. I think Extravagance is almost natural that Konami throws this card in Duel Overload. We also have a Borlo Savage Dragon. Now, this card definitely is desperately in need in a reprint. The value in the market price is absolutely different from what it is currently. The current market price value is roughly around $34 for Borlo Savage Dragon. And then when we look at it, unlimited copies, all right, you're looking to pay about $43. You want a first edition version? That's gonna run you also around $43. After that copy's gotta be hitting about $45 for Borlo Savage Dragon. And then this is a card that's a must-have. You're looking to play Rockets. But more importantly, this is a card that for me, I think is a must-have. You're looking to go into Master 05. If Konami does not hit this card before Master 05, this card would definitely see play in Master 05. And I think it always reminds me back when Konami reprinted oh my god, I forgot the name of the card already. When Konami clicked a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and you can place that access to the card. Once everyone had access to the card, the value of Crystal Wing Dragon spiked down heavily. And I think that's what we're gonna see with Borlo Savage Dragon, because I don't like Pot of Extravagance, I don't like Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. This card's an ultra rare, and if this card was to be in Duel Overload, well, the Duel Overload Ultra Rare might be more better to hold. I think the Duel Saga Ultra Rare Ultra Rares are amazing, and looking at Duel Overload, I think that's gonna be amazing as well. So looking at Borlo Savage Dragon, I do think this card value will go down heavily, even more so than Pot of Extravagance, even more so than Phantasme, if it was to get a reprint in Duel Overload. Up next, Winged Dragon and Raw Spear Mode. So we saw, especially for Invoke players, Invoked Shadows, we saw that those players are actually opting to play either Spear Mode or opting to play Nibiru, and both of them there's like no wrong answer. And I think for anyone out there, especially those who are looking to get into Master 05, this card's probably gonna be better than Spear Mode. And the reason why is because a lot of you players are gonna be making their decks to get around Nibiru, and Spear Mode you really can't stop. Your opponent just goes, okay, those three are gone, here's your card. And I think Master 05 is gonna be more of a, either you put up heavy negates deck, or you put a heavy consistent mid-range decks. That's why I think Shadows is still gonna be a top tier contending deck in Master 05, but there's still gonna be a lot of decks that are gonna be combo oriented that can still play around Nibiru, but they cannot play around Spear Mode. So if you don't have this card, right now it's $6 for the dual power version. That's a dirt cheap price. I'm not even joking, you need to go ahead and grab this card. Of course, you get the original Duels Pack Battle City. The market price is roughly around $9 for that card. And if you want the super rare, that's anywhere for about $5 to $6 for this card as well. But for the most part, I think dual power is probably the best version. It's $6, and once again, you definitely need to place it. If you don't have this card, get this card, because this will probably be the most biggest sided card moving forward into Master 05, and definitely moving forward into Nationals. We also have Infinite Permanence, and this card's huge right now. I mean, think about it. If you're playing any deck that's not Invoke Shadows, like let's say like Spirals or Lunalights, you're gonna want to need your Infinite Permanence. If you go first turn and your opponent has a board that has a Spiral, a El Shadow Winda, your only real answer is going to be more than likely Infinite Permanence if you play it as a 3-of in your deck. You can Permanence the Winda, and then you make your full play, and your opponent's just screwed. Like, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to shift the tempo that fast with one card. So I do think Impermanence is a huge card. Of course, it's good in a lot of other matchups. It's good against the Lunalight matchups. It's good against the Burning Abyss matchups, so hitting their Fossil on a Pachycephalo, so you can do your plays. It's good against the Spiral matchup, hitting a Spiral card and while they're holding Cold by the Grave and just looking at that card going, this card does nothing. So it's good against a lot of these matchups, but I think Infinite Impermanence is a card that's highly underrated right now, as far as not seeing main deck play. Looking at the card at dual power, the current market price of the dual power version is roughly around $49, where the card is underneath that at $44. Now that's different from the actual secret version of Infinite Permanence, holding a $64 market price, and the unlimited copy of the card is already at $65. And even on a first edition version, you're looking to pay about $71 for this card. This card's higher than the price point it was originally at when the announcement of the reprint was announced, when the card was sitting roughly around 60s. This card is just going higher and higher and higher in value for the secret rare, because it's, once again, it's high rarity, it's hard to find, and that's why Yu-Gi-Oh players are more opted to go grab the secret rare. Another card that's really kind of cool against spirals, and I feel like this card's not bad, but if we were in a fully dominated spiral meta, this card would be that much more better. It's gonna be Abominable Unchained Soul. It's a super rare coming out of Ignition Assault. It says if this card is destroyed by a battle or card, if card or cards you control is destroyed by a battle card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If it's special summon, you can discard one card and destroy one card in the field. So it's a 3K body with 1500 defense. Once again, super rare. During the end phase, this card is in the graveyard. This card during the end phase, once per turn during the end phase, this card's in your graveyard because it was destroyed in the field instead of the graveyard. Just period. If it's destroyed in any way, you can special summon it, but you place it on the bottom when it leaves the field. So once again, it's a 3K body. It's a card that when your opponent does sleeper you can respawn, and you can try to break the board. Or you can try to bring this card out and try to utilize it. And if it's destroyed, it does come back. So it's definitely really good against spirals. I like this card a lot. I still think Duel Lockbird's a lot better, but this is, once again, this is something if you're at your locals and everyone in your locals is playing spirals, play this card as well as Duel Lockbird. You're gonna shut your opponent down, or at least make their life a living hell with just 2 cards, and that will really manipulate the game state. Because if you drop Duel Lockbird, if they can make a board, they're gonna try to make a board, and if they do try to make a board, they're gonna try to make a board as best as possible, and next turn they're gonna try to bring out Sleeper. The board won't be ideal, so you'll have a lot of advantage. So for all you dinosaur players out there, Baby Ceratosaurus is like common, but the Dual Sleep promo ones, well, they have the different rarities. You got purple, blue, red, green, all those kind of colors, and they're insanely high in value. I mean, Dual Sleep, and by the way, if you're a store owner, I'm not sure, I could be wrong, go on Konami's website, they still might have Dual Sleep 13. I know they had it, I think it was 2 years ago they had it. But I'm not sure if they still have it now, but if they do have it, there's good value in there. I mean, look at Baby Ceratosaurus, the purple version at a Dual Sleep promo with a $15 value. Neighborhood copies of the cards are fair almost near $40. For the blue one, you're looking at about $45. For the red one, you're looking at about $22. And then they got a bunch of comments for Baby Ceratosaurus. Green sold out, by the way. So this card's spiking high in value, and wouldn't be surprised if dinosaurs make play still in Master Rule 5, because the deck doesn't really need an extra deck as much as it needs to continue controlling the board, continue to bring out big bodies out that slap over your opponent's monster. You can't negate high attack points, you can just eat the high attack points, and I think that's what something dinosaurs are really good at doing. Besides, if they went first, they could make an insanely good board as well. Looking at Ignition Assault, Lightning Storm is still not insanely high in value as far as a card for the prismatic version. Prismatic version of the card is roughly $425. We're seeing about $405 to $430. It's not spiking over to $500, unlike other cards like IP Masquerena, unlike other cards like Appaloosa. And the reason why, because those are extra deck, this is a main deck card. That's why it's not seeing as much high value. I wouldn't be surprised if this value continues to just drop down. But when we look at Lightning Storm at Ignition Assault, the secret rare, it's $141 in the market price, and looking at it, it's roughly around $100 to $141. The reason why is because Ignition Assault is just a bad set. Nobody's buying boxes of Ignition Assault. Nobody's buying packs of Ignition Assault. They don't care about the set for any kind of value, because unless you pull a Lightning Storm, there's almost no value. You pull 2 Gizmokakus, guess what? You still went neg. If you pulled a Mr. AI Land and Gizmokaku, you still went neg. If you pulled a Cross Sheet, well, that's one of the valuable cards in the set. Now here's where it gets weird. So you got, let's see, we got 1, 2, and 3 secret rares, and then a rare that's about $14. And after that, we got a bunch of, on page 2, ultra rares or secret rares that hold almost no value. I mean, yeah, Whitebeard is $9, cool. Chi-Chi the Ignister is like $9. You gotta realize, if you pull a Picari and a Chi-Chi in your box of Ignition Assault, that's like 18 and $20. Maybe let's say you get lucky and you pull 1 Cross Sheep. Congratulations. You pulled about, what, $40 if you're lucky, if they're selling everything. It's not a lot of value in this set. So once again, that's the reason why we're looking at Lightning Storm and seeing it hold so much value. I thought that Ignitus was going to show some meta play, and maybe Ignition Assault would have value. It didn't, it flopped. And looking at it, that's why Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are selling Lightning Storm for so much money, because they know those who pulled this set, who bought a ton of this set and pulled this card, that's where they're going to make a majority of their money. Of course, once again, if you pulled Ignister AI Land, Gizmokaku, Cross Sheep, you're gonna make some money as well, but the real value, the real money, is gonna be in Lightning Storm. And for those who pulled cases, they obviously put at least 3 of these, and 3 of these for a case, it's a pretty good conversion rate. Not to mention, once again, the other cards as I mentioned earlier. I think you can make your money back in a case of this set, but you have to pull at least 3 Lightning Storms, which you should be able to do. Up next, we have Zaborg the Mega Monarch. On my live stream last night, somebody asked if Necros can be viable in this format. I think Necros is one of the best decks to bring us Zaborg the Mega Monarch, and I think Zaborg the Mega Monarch is one of the best cards in the game that nobody can play properly in their deck. But if any deck can play this card, it's a blowout. I mean, think about it. You play this card against Spyros, you're going to take about 8 cards of your opponent's extra deck and send to the graveyard. Play against any deck that needs the extra deck, well, you're just going to manipulate the extra deck all day long. This card's absolutely insane. Taking 8 cards of your opponent's extra deck is almost game-changing. Most decks will have to struggle by creating a board. I think Spyros can kind of play around it, but then Spyros just become sleeper the deck featuring what you didn't take out of the deck. But yeah, I think Zaborg the Mega Monarch is a phenomenal card for Necros. I'm not sure it's going to be tier 1 or tier 1.5. I would see Necros being more like a tier 2 deck, but still, this card is a huge card. I think that once a deck comes out that can be tier 1, that can utilize this, that's a game changer. That changes a lot of decks in the game, so keep an eye on this card. If you don't have this card, I definitely recommend you go ahead and pick this card up. The original print and a new challengers is like $1 right now in the market. It's dirt cheap. Then we have Morphtronic Cellphon. I'm not sure if Morphtronic is going to be good, but this card is a super rare at a Turtle Pack Booster 3. Market price is roughly around $8. The card is currently listed as $5.45 for super rare Turtle Pack 3 Morphtronic Cellphon. That's dirt cheap. And if you want to go even cheaper, you get the DT2 ones. They're roughly around $1 in the market, where the market price is roughly around $2.50. The card does have a common reprint, but nobody really cares about that. This is where the value is, and I definitely recommend you getting Cellphon super rares. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, no big deal. You still can get DT2 ones, and they're roughly around $1 each. That's like a really good deal. One of the best cards, I think, in Master Rule 5 is not going to be Ash Blossom or Ghost Ogre. I think it's going to be Red Blossom. This card is a huge sleeper for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. And looking at the card market price of 90 cents, you can buy the card as low as 50 cents right now, excluding shipping, for this card. You only need 3 of this card, and I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't even think the price will really spike high in value. It might move a little bit up as Yu-Gi-Oh players realize this card is needed for any kind of deck that utilizes, I don't know, Fusion, Synchro, Exceeds, and Links. So that's kind of important. But yeah, I do think this card's actually really, really good. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players can find use for this card in the meta, especially in Master Rule 5. And I think this card's not being looked at right now because we're in Link format. The minute we enter Master Rule 5, everything changes. This card can actually show some kind of meta play. So once again, if you don't have your copies of this card, grab your playset. I would recommend you R9 if you really want to, but at the very least, grab your playset. This card is dirt cheap right now. It's the only printing from Duel Devastator. Then we have D-Barrier. Now, original print Invasion Vengeance D-Barrier holding a $5.67 market price. Well, looking at it right now, it's roughly around $7 for an unlimited copy. If you want a first edition version, you're looking at $8. The card's going back up in the market for D-Barrier. That's because this card's a blowout against Shadow Invoke. You flip this card, you say Fusions, your Shadow Invoke player is probably going to go, yep, you go. Now, of course, they have El Shadow Fusion, they have Super Polymerization, they have things, and they can do interaction on your turn. But as far as their turn, that's it, they're done. The best thing they can do is set some back row, set a card face down, and pass turn. Looking at D-Barrier out of the 2017 Megatins, the market price is stable roughly around $4, where this card was a lot cheaper before. You got the Duel Devastator Ultra Rares, they're like $1, and of course you got the commons, which is like 50 cents. But if you want the real good rarity ones, you're either going to get the original print Secret Rares, or you're going to get the 2017 Mega Pack version of Dimensional Barrier. Then we have Invocation. Now, I like Invoke Shadows a lot. It's a deck I'm currently running right now. I think it's a great deck. But I think with Duel Overload coming out, with all us Yu-Gi-Oh players having access to cards like not just Phantasma, which is a great cycle card, and not just because we're getting a new meta soon, we are. Not because we're getting a new set, Eternity Code, we are. Not because we're getting a new Master Rule, we definitely are doing that. But I think Shadows might be more of a pure Shadow version that can run cards like Needle Fiber in it. And I think that's going to change drastically the value on the market. So Ultimate Rare Invocation coming out of OTS 1 Pack 6, holding roughly a $90 to $93 market price, current price point. I don't know if that's going to remain that high. I think Yu-Gi-Oh players holding 3 of these is going to dump these onto the market, and the value is going to spike heavily down. It'll probably have a stabilization price point. I think it'll probably go as low as $40 as Yu-Gi-Oh players move more into a pure Shadow version. Looking at secret rare copies of Fusion Enforcers of Invocation, it's currently holding a $59 price point, and it's roughly around $61 in the market price. And if you have the super rare version of this card with a $38 market price, it's holding roughly around a $39 market price point. So once again, I think Invocation is a great card, but if you're holding Invoke Shadows right now, you're taking a huge gamble. You're gambling that with Duel Overload coming out, Yu-Gi-Oh players are still going to be playing Invoke Shadows. It's a great deck, don't get me wrong, but I think with all the cards coming out of Duel Overload, it might actually replace Invocation and Invoked Engine at invoke Shadows, or maybe even limit the amount of invoked cards played into that deck if they was to continue doing that. So let's keep that in consideration. If you're holding 3 invocations at 90 bucks a pop, you might want to consider selling it. Then we have Perform H Hat Tricker. So this card came out common in Clash of Rebellions. The current value of this card is like $2 for a common. If you want the 2016 Megaton version, well, that's a little bit different. The market price is roughly around $2. This card's roughly around $5 on the market. Almost bought out for the common from 2016 Megatons. And then we have Perform H Damage Juggle, another card at Battle's Legends Relentless Revenge. The card's a $3 market price, and we're seeing lightly positions being roughly around $3 to $4. And then we have Trick Clown. This card's not going anywhere. It's like $1. And the reason why is because we got one war right off the gate for the ultra rare listed at 32 copies, adding around $1. And then the next war, the next one right after that, is 239 copies, roughly around $1 for this card as well. So that's why I don't think this card's going high in value. It's because there's so much on the market as opposed to the other 2 copies of cards like Hat Tricker and Damage Juggler, which isn't as high in the market. One card I forgot to mention to you guys, I haven't mentioned it in a long while, I think. I mentioned it when Battle's Legends Heroes Revenge came out, but I haven't mentioned it in a long while, which is going to be Cyberstein. This card is insane. Listen, it's a secret rare out of the Battle's Legends Heroes Revenge set. $1 market price. Current value in the market, $1. I think this card is going to be huge in the future. I think there's huge potential. This card is dirt cheap right now. And we look at the Show and Jump version of the card. It's insanely overpriced, of course. You got Dark Beginning 2 rares that are like $2. The market price is roughly around $4, by the way. And then you got the Battle's Legends Secret Rare, which is the real value of this. Only 40 price listings on TCG Player for this card, and you don't see that many big walls. I mean, you see a 10 wall over here. There might be some more walls on the line, I guess, another 10 wall, I guess, for like $2. This card is highly underrated. Not a lot of people are caring about this card or looking at this card, but I think this card has a lot of huge potential in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if this card goes up in value. It hits some pretty dumb numbers, especially since the card is a secret rare as Battle's Legends Heroes Revenge. All I'm trying to say, Paisanos, if you don't have this card, you're going to want to go ahead and grab at least one of these for yourself, maybe even a play set. And then we have Madolche. So we know Madolches are going to be in Duel Overload. We know this for a fact. The real question is what's not going to be in Duel Overload. So we get the spoilers of Duel Overload and we see a bunch of cards, but somehow we're missing Madolche Hoot Cake. Madolche Hoot Cake, which originally came out of Lord Tachyon Galaxy, as well as 2014 Megatons Mega Pack. These are going to get bought out and cleaned off the market. These are going to be the high value cards. These are going to be the cards that are going to be hitting the dumb numbers like the other Madolche cards. Those other Madolche cards are going to start lowering in value. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if those other Madolche cards just tank altogether in value, like Angeli and Chocolate Alamotive. Those are going to be in Duel Overload. But cards like Madolche Hoot Cake, if this is not reprinted, if we're missing one Madolche card that's super rare or higher, it's going to spike to some crazy numbers in the market. So keep an eye out for Duel Overload and keep an eye out what's not the card that Madolche is going to be in there, and that's the one you need to go ahead and go in and grab. And then we have 2 cards here. We have Striker Dragon, which is holding a $16 market price. The current price point is roughly around $17, by the way. And to be honest with you, I think this is a big sell. I got my playset in, sold it just as fast. I was at the UDS and I saw Rockets really dominating that event. And at the time, I think I only had 1 Striker Dragon. I went online and bought 2. The minute I got confirmation of those 2 being shipped, I threw them online to TCG Player and I sold all 3. Got them off roughly around 2 of them for $6. One of them I pulled in a pack. Guys, I'm dead serious. I think this card's hit the ceiling as far as high value. I think it's time to get rid of Striker Dragons. If you have it, unload it as fast as possible. If you have Rockets, you're in a weird position because you have a good deck, but Bordeaux Savage Dragon could be reprinted. Striker Dragon, I don't think it's gonna get reprinted, but I do think anytime soon. But I do think Rockets, even though it's a great deck, I don't think to see any play in Master Hero 5 as much as a lot of you players think it's going to be. Once again, because Master Hero 5 you have to put at least like 3 to 4 negates on board, or you have to play a mid-range deck that can play around 3 to 4 negates on board. So it's a very dynamic format. Looking at Starleaf Seafried, with a $36 market price, the current value of the card is roughly around $40 to $41. This card was hitting almost at $20 before, and I'm actually kind of shocked to see this card be so high so fast. I always felt like Starleaf Seafried is going to be a money card. It says dragons, it does dragon things, and yeah, Rockets are a mixture of dragon decks, but I do think Starleaf Seafried is going to go down in value and then go up again in value. The only question is this card going to be a Megaton reprint? If it is, the value is going to tank. Especially if it's Secret Rare or Prismatic Secret Rare, this card value tanks. Is it going to be, and is Rockets going to see play Master of 5? I don't think they're going to be. Could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think we'll see play Master of 5. And more importantly, will Yu-Gi-Oh! Players just not want to play Solid Siegfried? Dragons will not see play. And then we go into Mega Tins, and with the value of this card, in the this card as a secret rare, as opposed to a prismatic Mega Tin version, well, this card would not be worth nowhere near it's currently worth right now. So everyone holding Solid Siegfried, I have it as well, by the way. I'm holding this card as well. I have to ask them a question: is it going to be worth it? And to be honest with you, I'm debating on selling this card. And I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Anyway, Paisanos, I really appreciate you guys for watching my videos. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the like button. Comment down below and answer the comment question of the day. It's your boy V, and you Paisanos, well, you Paisanos just have a great day.